AMA. This is AMA with Zach Shulman. I'm trying to figure out what AMA is. What is AMA, Anu? Amy asks, what does Harvey win? Harvey wins $5,000. American Management Association. Okay, so Brad asks about ways to participate remotely. He's a PhD 17 who now lives on the West Coast. So Brad, the one thing I would definitely do is to join the Entrepreneurship Listserv. Ask Me Anything is AMA. Thanks, Anu. Anyway, so join the Entrepreneurship Listserv. Go to our website, which is eship.cornell.edu. You'll see where to join. It really keeps you in the top of the knowledge chain when it comes to what's going on. So on the listserv, there's over 5,000 members. Anybody can send to it. All the messages do go through me, so I moderate them to make sure that junk doesn't get through. But some days there'll be 5 or 10 messages that actually get through, which is great. Everything from events coming up to people looking for people to hire, people looking for co-founders, people looking for mentorship. So when you read a lot about the companies that are posting things on the listserv, it might spark some ways to get involved with those companies. There's also something called Cornell Silicon Valley, CSV. You can look at csv.cornell.edu, and they run programs in Silicon Valley. Obviously, with COVID, things are a little bit constrained. We run a monthly webinar now with COVID featuring high-profile speakers, which has been a lot of fun. In fact, next month in December, I forgot the date, I could look it up. We're doing a webinar with Arthur Blank, who's the founder of Home Depot. His daughter happens to be at Cornell now, so he agreed to do a webinar with us. It's really and they've been a ton of fun. In fact, I just lined up a webinar for February with a Wayfair executive, and Steve Conine, who is one of the judges today, is going to be interviewing one of his senior executives who's in charge of supply chain. Anyway, so there's lots of ways to be involved. The listserv is a wonderful way to keep in touch. Okay, so you can also join our advisory council. There's a financial component to that. I'll be upfront about it. But if anybody's interested in joining our advisory council, they should just get back in touch with me. I've put my email in the listserv on the chat. Lloyd just asked, what's the URL of the listserv? It doesn't have a URL, Lloyd. Once you join it, you'll learn how to send to it. Okay. But my email is ZJS2. Very, very simple. I'll just put it in there so you guys can tap me on emails if you like. 1 second. There we go. Okay. Do you have a favorite Cornell alum? How I built this story. That's a great question. So my favorite Guy Raz story is that I think that we used to call this conference Summit, by the way. And then Guy Raz, after we had our summit, named his own conference Summit. Guy Raz is the How I Built This podcast master. So that was one of the reasons why we changed. Honestly, one of my favorite How I Built This stories has got to be the Wayfair guys. And I'm not just saying that because Steve is a judge today, but the way that they built Wayfair was absolutely fascinating. How they aggregated many, many, many tens or 20s of various e-commerce websites, and we're running them separately. So if you wanted to buy a lamppost, you would go to lamppost.com. I'm making up these URLs. I don't really know what they are. If you wanted to buy, pots and pans, you go to potsandpans.com. They had a bunch of these very specific niche websites in the early 2000s, and they ended up aggregating, losing some, and creating Wayfair. And it's just been an absolute rocket ship. Obviously, the pandemic has helped all e-commerce companies, and Wayfair is no exception to that. But these are two guys that met at college at Cornell. They were on the same floor of their dorm, and they started another company together before Wayfair. And it's just a great story. So that's probably my favorite. I don't remember the dorm, Keith. Keith asked which dorm. I don't remember. I'll make it up. Some U-Haul. I really don't know. This is good. What motivates you to do all the work you're doing, mentoring, helping Cornell entrepreneurs? So Michael Wang, who asked that question, that's actually interesting. So I'm a corporate lawyer by training. I like dealing with people a lot, and I think corporate law, for people who like to deal with people, it's a great profession because you do it a lot. It's not litigation oriented; it's actually results oriented. And when I moved back to Ithaca in 1996, after being in Boston for 6 years, I started teaching right away. Got a lot of energy out of the students. I then started full time at the business school in 2001. A lot of energy from the students, and it's just a constant source of energy. I often joke with people that when you work at an educational place like Cornell, you never feel like you're getting older because the people around you are like the same age always. It's almost like Groundhog Day, right? I mean, you're just surrounded by young people all the time, and that's motivating, and it's just a lot of fun. They always ask really good questions. Cornell is really well known now for entrepreneurship, and I think that we're attracting a very entrepreneurial student base, which is really important to me. Someone just wrote more like the Twilight Zone. You keep getting older and they stay the same age. Okay, Mitch, I get that. That's actually a good one. Excellent. Let's see. It's hard to read all these questions. Arthur Blank, yep. Okay. I think I'm current. If you have any more, let me know. We only have another minute or two. In fact, Paulina, you can probably turn on your video. I don't mind starting. Oh, wait, a new poll. Do you consider yourself an entrepreneur? Have you taken the survey? So we sent out a survey on around October 20th to all alumni on various aspects of entrepreneurship. So if you identify as an entrepreneur, it's going to put you through a bunch of questions that we will aggregate the data for, and it will help us market Cornell as an entrepreneurial powerhouse, right? So please do respond to the survey if you are an entrepreneur in particular, and fill in the questions and help us position Cornell as a entrepreneurial powerhouse. Much, much appreciated. All right, Katie asked how many participants. So we've had about between 250 and 300 consistently. We had about 900 register. So I can't tell how many have been staying on the whole day. It's a long day to be on Zoom, obviously. But it's been consistently between about 250 and 300 on at any point in time. Oh, Lyft is a great story, Bill. Bill Mackler says Lyft is a good Cornell story. We will get John Zimmer to speak at some point. Cornellian from the hotel school, absolutely. All right, I think we can start our next show.